Greetings, Zombie Slayers, Slippery Jim here. Welcome to my solo high round strategy guide for the new Call of Duty Cold War Zombies map, Mauer Der Toten. And in this guide, I'm going to show you what I think is the best solo high round strategy for your average player to get to super high rounds as easily as possible. That is still a pretty legitimate strategy that is likely to stay the course in the future. In other words, I'm not going to be showing you any strategies that are doing the rounds at the moment where you're using, shall we say, certain practices that could be considered exploits that Treyarch will likely patch in the very near future, if they haven't already by the time you watch this video. So the first strategy I'll show you in this video will be for your average player that wants to get to higher rounds, has an average amount of skill. And the second strategy I'll show you towards the end of this video will be for your more advanced player that is interested in potentially getting to some crazy high rounds as quickly as possible and even potentially setting world records. So to start off here with your loadout, you just want to make sure, as much as you've possibly been able to, that you've maxed out all of your skills and your weapon classes and all of that stuff. Your perks, try and get those all upgraded as much as possible. As far as your field upgrade goes, we're going to be using primarily the Ring of Fire tier 5, but there's also certain uses for the toxic growth as well. And Ether Shroud can be helpful in the early rounds. As far as your weapon goes, you can pretty much use whatever you're comfortable with, because the main weapon that we're going to be using is going to be the Wonder Weapon in this map. However, I would probably suggest something that has a lot of ammunition and has good mobility at the same time. That's why I'm using the PPSH 41 here, the good old PP. But as we go through here, you'll notice we've started off in the starting area, and we're going to basically be following the power directional arrows, those purple arrows. There's two different ways you can go, but if you just come down inside the building and follow the same way that I'm taking you here, make sure you grab the free points out of the couple of perk machines you'll come across on the way. By the way, in this location here in the hotel, there is a gallows on the wall if you like the gallows. And right here, you'll notice there's a little part of the bunny rabbit teddy bear. So we're actually going to collect that. And through there's a little room that we're going to come back to later as well. So with that, with the bunny rabbit teddy bear, you can actually collect 6 parts for that throughout the map. And once you collect all 6 parts for the teddy bear, you actually go into our little Easter egg location that will give you a chance of getting potentially the Wonder Weapon. Although, to be honest, I've played this map a fair bit and I've never got the Wonder Weapon from that little Easter egg location. You can also get some other good stuff as well. You can get perks. To be honest, you can completely skip this particular mini Easter egg, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, because there is a way to get a guaranteed Wonder Weapon in this map on round 10 or shortly thereafter. So you don't have to worry about doing this, but I'll show it to you anyway, just in case you want to try it out. So we're going to keep following through towards the power, and I'm going to be showing you the locations for the bunny rabbit as we go through and picking those up as well. But essentially you just want to keep following the same path that I'm following here, just so you know where all these areas are. It doesn't really matter if you follow this path or not though, because you're just basically going to follow the objective to turn the power on. Now as we go and as we get some points here, we are going to be picking up our first 3 perks. Now the first 3 perks that you buy are pretty important, because if you do get downed and you use your self-revive, you're only going to be able to keep the first 3 perks that you buy. So it's pretty important that they're the kind of perks that will help you if you're scrambling, trying to get all your perks back and stuff like that if you do get downed the first time. Now over here in the corner, in the alley, you'll see another part for the bunny rabbit teddy bear. And just over here you'll have a spawn of the one of these little tempests. So you want to kill that and then grab the electrical fuse that will drop. That's one of the 2 fuses we need to turn the power on. Now there is a couple more bunny rabbit teddy bear parts here to collect. One of them is located in the bar area here on this corner bench. And the other one is in the grocery store, but the grocery store door is locked until you turn power on. So we'll be coming back for that a little bit later. In the meantime, we're going to be trying to get some more points here. So getting back to what I was saying about the perks, you want to make sure you buy the 3 best perks to have if you do get downed. That's the grocery store right there, by the way. So what I tend to get is Jug. I get Quick Revive, because then you've got another get out of jail free card if you do get downed immediately after the first down. So Jug, Quick Revive, and I like to get Stamina up so you're nice and fast while you're scrambling around trying to buy back your perks and your self-revive and all that stuff. So yeah, we're just moving through here now. When you get to the ghost station area right here, you are going to the first time you find this location, you're going to get this train going past. So don't just run out on the tracks and get yourself run over, because that thing will definitely down you if you get hit by the train. Probably unsurprisingly. But after it goes past, you can just move across here. Now, for the first strategy we're going to use, we're going to want to keep that door right there. You want to keep that closed the whole game. Okay? But for the second strategy, later on, we're actually going to have to open that, but I don't want to overcomplicate things. But for now, just keep that closed, and we're going to move through this area. We'll come back to this room a little bit later. But as you move through here, you are going to notice that there is a robot there. So the robot we are going to have to repair in order to get the free wonder weapon. So we'll need 2 parts. We'll need the battery, which we'll get around 10, and I'll show you how to get that. And we'll also need his hands, which we'll also get right around 10 pretty easily. So anyway, right now we just need a few more points, and then we're going to go by the door into the power room. Now again, for the second strategy I'll show you, you'll actually want to keep this power room door closed, and you would go in the other door that we're keeping closed for this first strategy. So anyway, for right now, let's focus on this first strategy. So basically, we open up the power room here, we flick the switch, and now we need to put our fuse in that we collected into there. We do need a second fuse. So if you're coming through in this direction that we're taking right now, as you go down in the sewer area, you'll actually encounter a second Tempest that will drop you the second power fuse you need. Then we'll put that back in the fuse box there and flick the switch again, and that will turn the power on for us. So it's fairly straightforward to get the power turned on. Just trying to get these critical kills because I've still got like 500 or so that I need to get. That's the last camo challenge for this weapon. Anyway, here's the other Tempest in the corner over here in the sewer access location. And we've got our second fuse. Now, also, this door right here is the same door that we're going to keep closed the whole game. Now, right here, not far from that door, is one of our other bunny rabbit teddy bear parts. We'll come back and collect that. But for now, we're going to turn the power on right there. And we're going to head back through to the sewer access area here. Now, once you turn the power on, it does obviously power up the perk machines and stuff like that, but it also allows you to have access to some extra zip lines that are pretty key to moving to the other side of the map. So we're going to go up this zip line right here from the sewer. This takes us across the other side of the wall, actually, the Berlin Wall. And this vertical zip line right here is going to take us up to our Wonder Fizz machine, and this is another teddy bear part right here in the department store. So that's obviously where we can get all of our perks from as we get the points for it. So right now we're just going to chug, And if you take this zip line down here, you'll end up in kind of like a no man's land. It's called the Death Strip in this map. And there's some little dig piles around this area that you can actually dig up for a bunch of salvage. There's also a trap there that basically makes the auto turrets focus on the zombies. You want to be careful because if you stand in the spotlights in the death zone, the turrets will actually shoot at you, but they're not going to insta-kill you or anything like that, but just be careful of that. And it's a good chance to grab some salvage and ammo, grenades, things of that nature. And there's also an armory location here for you if you want to buy your armor and stuff like that. Okay, so to actually access the Pack-a-Punch machine, we actually need to prove ourselves worthy and face this mini-boss here. So we're just going to get a few more items from these dig piles here. And then we're going to take care of some of these zombies as well. So over here at the Pack-a-Punch, if you click on this, you have to prove yourself worthy by basically taking out the mini-boss. Once you kill the mini-boss, all the zombies will actually die straight away, so you don't really need to focus too much on the zombies. But he might seem really hard to kill, but if you aim for his face, it does kill him pretty quickly, depending on what weapon you're using. So we're just waiting for him to fly over here. And then we'll take down the Disciple. So trying to aim for that head. And then as soon as you hit him in the head, it seems to like insta-melt him pretty much. But the rest of his body has quite a bit of armor. Okay, so anyway, once you've taken him down, you can actually go over and now you can use the Pack-a-Punch machine. So you want to actually get the brain rot attachment on whatever weapon you're using. Because we're going to need this to get the hands for the robot so that we can activate the robot later on, which is necessary to get the free wonder weapon. As far as getting the free wonder weapon though, you can also try getting it from Trials if you really want to. The Trials machine is in this area right here as well. And I'm just going to switch to Ring of Fire here real quick. But you can also hit the mystery box and try and get it out of the mystery box, which is possible. And you can do the rabbit Easter egg, which I'll show you guys shortly, by collecting those 6 parts for the rabbit teddy bear. So there's a few ways to get it, but quite honestly, I wouldn't waste your time trying to get it any of those other ways. Just wait till round 10 and you'll be able to get it if you follow the couple of simple steps I'll show you. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this debris here, and then we'll just be able to easily cross between these two areas of the map. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and get one of the parts for the robot that we need to activate the robot with. And this part is the robot's hands. So if you just follow the same direction up through the garment factory stairs, you'll actually come to the hotel again and follow the route I'm taking here to get through to this hotel room 305. You'll notice there's a boarded up room there. So you need to brain rot one of the zombies in this room, and what will happen then, as you'll see in a second here, the brain rotted zombie will head over to the boarded up room and smash through that for whatever reason. And you'll be able to go in there and grab the hands off this corpse on the bed. So all the zombies will get killed in the area. You'll be completely safe as soon as you click on this to pick up those hands. Add them to your inventory, and you'll notice there's a safe in there too, which has 3 combination locks on it. So we'll be coming back to that later when we've activated the robot and done a couple of other steps, which and that is actually where we'll get our free wonder weapon from later on. But for now, we are going to pick up the final part of the bunny rabbit teddy bear, which is located here in the grocery store on the shelf that I'll show you right now. These parts are always in the same location, by the way. That is our 6th and final part for the bunny rabbit teddy bear, and that will teleport us now into this secret location, which is the Hastenbow, the bunny rabbit disco. And Hastenbow actually translates to the rabbit hole in German. So yeah, initially the zombies are dancing away. They're passive. They're invincible, but then they'll start becoming active and attacking you. You want to basically take out the zombies. There are 3 waves that you have to take out. The first wave, you're going to have a mangler. And the second wave, you can have a mimic. And in the third wave, you'll have one of the new mini bosses or elites or whatever you want to call them, which is the disciple. There is a box for ammo if you need to buy ammo at the back of the room. But you do get a few ammo drops and stuff like that every now and then. And after the third wave, you'll actually get a max ammo in the center of the room here. Now, the key to this is when you actually defeat all 3 waves of zombies here in this location, you'll actually be able to go up on stage and pick one of 3 doors to open. And behind the door, you'll have a chest. And potentially, this is one way you could get the wonder weapon, or at least a free perk or some salvage and stuff like that. But you're not always going to get a guaranteed jug doing this. And to be honest, I've done this a bunch of times and I've never got the wonder weapon doing this. So I would just probably skip this, but I thought I'd show it to you anyway because it's pretty cool and you can get some pretty good stuff out of it. But if you're just trying to get to your higher rounds as quickly as possible, you don't need to do this. This is entirely optional. And there's also basically a chance to do this same Easter egg every 15 rounds after you do it the first time. I will show you how to activate it later on as well. But like I said, you don't really need to do this, but it is still a pretty cool way of getting some cool stuff as well. So here we are moving into the next round we have to get through. And we got the disciple here. So I was trying to brain rot the disciple. Not having too much luck. The brain rot does have a fairly long cooldown on it. While we're doing this, I'll just talk about some pretty important changes that Treyarch made to the mechanics in Cold War Zombies since the first 2 maps came out. In the first 2 maps, we were very used to the zombie health cap, which back then was 30,001 health, which the zombies tended to reach by around 41, if I remember correctly. And also, the zombies reach their max sprint speed at that stage as well. So here we're just picking one of the doors here on the stage, and we didn't really get anything good at all. But yeah, getting back to what I was talking about. So Treyarch did change the health cap on the zombies. At one point, it was high as 120,000 health, which is pretty huge compared to what it was originally. But they've dialed it down now at the moment when this map's come out to 60,000 health being the health cap. And to reach that that health cap, it now takes to about round 55. And obviously by then the zombies are sprinting at their max speed as well. So with that in mind, I guess it takes longer to reach that health cap. And they also scaled some of the weapons to the health of the zombies, such as grenades, stuff like that, the death machine and stuff. So I'm really surprised that they changed something so major like the health of the zombies. But anyway, what we're doing now is we're actually going to be putting on the Shatter Blast, ammo type. So we're switching out from the Brain Rot, and this is pretty key, very useful for the strategy that I'll be showing you guys later. So I like to wait until I get the free armor drop for my first level of armor, by the way. Throw the stun grenade there, get myself out of trouble. And then I buy the second and third armors from the arsenal. But the first one doesn't cost that much and scrap it anyway. Just an efficiency thing. Alright. So at this point, now that we've got the hands for the robot already, really what we have to do to get the second part to be able to activate the robot we're just getting some quick revive here as well, is we just have to wait until round 10, because what happens at round 10 is you will get a Panzer Soldat that will spawn every single time, the start of round 10. And when you kill that Panzer, he will drop the battery for the robot. So at that point, you have both items you need to activate the robot. And then the robot will actually enable you to, after you follow some extra steps, which I'll show you guys, it will enable you to get a free wonder weapon. But for now, we're just building up some points. And I'll show you how effective Shadow Blast is at the moment here in Cold War Zombies, right? We're just grouping up the zombies here right now. Now, granted, this is round 9, but it will do the same thing, basically whatever round you're at with the regular zombies, or even the armored zombies. So we're going to get all the zombies in a group here. And then Shadow Blast. It just basically decimates all the zombies in the entire group. It's pretty crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Treyarch nerf Shadow Blast right now, because it is pretty strong. But we're going to be using this later on to be able to very quickly fill up the meter on our Ring of Fire. But I'll show you that later on when we get to the actual final strategy that we'll be using. Okay, round 10, guys. So we will get the Panzer spawning in, like I said. So it should come pretty much at the start of the round here. And we've got our Ring of Fire if we really needed that to take out the Panzer. But especially with the Shadow Blast, it shouldn't be too bad to take it out here on round 10. So it's just going to drop down there. And use the Ring of Fire here, and pretty much insta-melted with the Shadow Blast on the PPSH. And then basically where we destroyed it, we can go over and pick up the battery off the ground there. So that is going to be added to our inventory. And now we can head back to the robot, and we can actually activate the robot. So talking about the robot, basically you can use the robot and you can upgrade the robot to fight by your side. And he will actually revive you if you get down to an unlimited amount of times while he's active. But it's not an efficient way to kill zombies in the higher rounds. So we're only going to be using the robot right now to be able to get the free wonder weapon. So once we've clicked on the robot, that will add the hands and the battery. And he will get up and say spill. And then you'll be able to go over and buy him for 2,000 points. But we're not even going to be buying him after this. We're just initially going to activate him, which is free the first time. And we're going to bring him over to the room nearby here, which is through the broken tunnel right here. And as you come through here, there's a locker at the back here, which has a 0 written on the wall above it. And if you use your Q button here, which is your alternate grenade, tactical grenade control, and just click the location there of the locker, and the robot will go over here and open that for you, so you can pick up the black light torch from the locker. And you can actually turn that on and off. It's on by default, but you can turn it on and off with the 5 button if you plan on PC. And what this allows us to see are some special numbers that we need to obtain. So these numbers, there are 3 sets of numbers, and they are basically the combinations for the save. So you'll find these in 3 locations through the map. The first combination is found in the garment factory area. The second one is found in the service passage, and the third one is found in the grocery store. You don't have to necessarily find them in that order, but you do have to kind of remember which combination is which. So as you come over, we're going to get the garment factory combination first. And as you come up the stairs here and go into the room around on the right hand side, you'll notice that there's a number 1 on the wall there. So this is the first combination, and just look around the room There's about 3 locations per room where these numbers could show up. So it's going to take me a little while to find the numbers here because I'm not super familiar with all 3 of these locations where the numbers could possibly spawn. But you basically have to shine the black light at close range around the room until you find them. So hopefully we can find this first set of numbers at some point. The zombies will hassle you while you're doing this, especially playing solo, so keep that in mind. But yeah, after you know the locations, you can just check those specific areas. But for the life of me, I couldn't find the numbers here for a while, but we will find them eventually, trust me. So they could be in the room just outside of this as well. So I'll just have to wait for the zombies to thin out and we'll come back and find the first combo there. But yeah, just play it safe, don't do anything stupid. See that Shadow Blast kicking in there as well. Shadow Blast has a reasonably fast cooldown on it as well, so it's pretty handy actually. It's like the new alternative to Dead Wire, when Dead Wire was a really good option. Okay, we moved on to the next round, so we're going to have a quick look back up there in the garment factory room, looking for those numbers. So there should be 2 digits for each combination that we need to find here. So the problem I had here is I knew where 2 of the numbers spawned, but I didn't know the 3rd one, which is where this one was. So I had to check every inch of the room to find these. But it's all good. We don't really need the wonder weapon until the higher rounds. It is pretty powerful in these low rounds. It's yeah, it's pretty awesome even in the high rounds though with Ring of Fire. We've got a disciple in the mix, making things harder for us. So just to talk about those disciples a little bit, the disciples essentially are going to buff the zombies. And they also make them kind of change their behavior a little bit. So it's a little bit harder to control the zombies and keep them grouped up in a zombie train while the disciple is buffing them up and doing his weird magical stuff to them, which can sort of mess up your flow later on in the high rounds when you're trying to group up the zombies. So it's a little bit annoying, to be honest, that they do that, but I guess it's just something new the track thrown in. Okay, so we're gonna head back again to the garment factory room and try and find those combo numbers. So yeah, once you know where they are, so there they are right there, you see 06. Once you know where they are, you can check that location next time in case it's in your next game when you're doing the same thing. But there's I believe there's 3 different areas that they can potentially spawn in each of these 3 locations we're going to be going to here. Alright, so that is the garment factory combination. So next we're going to be heading to the service passage. So to get to the service passage, you can just head back down, come through the alley here, and you'll notice on the right, this is the same path we took initially to get to the power room. We're going to drop down this this hatch here. And this is our second combination. So right up here, found this one straight away. We've got the combo right there. And we only have the third combination that we need to get over in the grocery store. So we're going to go back up the ladder and then diagonally across the road here to the grocery store. And this one is the third combination we need to look for. And in this case, it is on the shelving right here. So it can be up in that corner up there as well. But now we have all three combination numbers we need. We can go back to the safe in the hotel room and enter that combination in to open the safe. And that is where we're going to get our free wonder weapon. I'm going to buy stamina up here as well. So that's going to be my third primary perk. But let's do the safe thing first. So you will be attacked by zombies while you're doing this. So just be very, very careful. But you just need to turn the dials to match the numbers to what we saw in those three rooms. Take out the last zombie here. Alrighty, so let's put those numbers in that we got. I think it was 06. And then the second combo right here, 17. And then our final combo right here. And there it is, the CRBRS, the new wonder weapon. It's very, very similar in many ways to the old ray gun Mark II. But it also has some little quirks to it as well. I really like how it has this little floating orb that fires at the zombies when you fire a shot. So you actually have the primary shot that you're aiming at the zombies, and then the little orb will shoot at any nearby zombies. Which means you can actually camp in this room and like aim it out the door here, and the little orb will shoot the zombies coming in the window to your right. So it's pretty cool actually. But the other thing is that every now and then the zombies will actually drop an upgrade. There's 3 different upgrades for this thing. This is one of them that we're looking at right here. This is like the laser beam upgrade. There's also a shotgun type upgrade, and there's a homing rocket type upgrade. But to be honest, the best and most reliable version of the weapon is the default weapon, which is what we're going to be using in our high round strategy later on. But we're going to get stamina up here. So those are our 3 primary perks. We are going to get the rest of the perks, probably except for Tombstone, as we get the points to buy them. But yeah, in these early rounds, you're just going to melt zombies with this thing. It doesn't matter which attachment you're using or if you're using the default version of it. Pretty much everything is just going to die. So it does feel very strong in the early rounds, but later on, as the zombies hit that health cap of 60,000, you're going to need some help from the Ring of Fire to kill the zombies, especially the elites and stuff like that. So initially here we are just building points up so that we can get our perks and eventually triple pack-a-punch the wonder weapon. So this is a good early game area right here where you can just sit here in this corner. All the zombies are going to be coming from in front of you and through that window to the right, and you can just basically sit here pretty safely, have your Ring of Fire up your sleeve, and just melt all the zombies really, really quickly. Now, I will mention here that there is a strategy that some people have been using in this room where they actually follow the Easter egg steps until they get a Ethereum canister. And if you guys have used the Ethereum canister before in Outbreak and stuff like that, you'll know that it has almost a field upgrade type effect that you can use with the X button, which basically blasts all the zombies in the area. So what they've been doing is they've been camping in that little room there and holding the canister. And it doesn't actually do any damage to you while you're in zombies, the regular round-based zombies. and just using it to destroy all the zombies. And it's definitely the fastest method of getting to high rounds currently, but I'm not going to be showing you specifically that strategy because it is very much an exploit that will almost certainly get patched by Treyarch. But yeah, right now that's probably the fastest way to get through the rounds. But if you want to get a legit world record, or you want something that's probably gonna still be viable down the track after Treyarch patched the map, then I'm going to be showing you a couple of strategies that will probably still be very, very effective later on. Anyway, for right now, we're just going to be sitting here in this room and building up the points. So we'll get enough points to be able to buy all of our perks and stuff like that, and then we'll need to get enough points to triple pack punch the wonder weapon. This is the swarm upgrade, by the way, which is that homing rocket type upgrade. This is probably the least effective one, to be honest, because it's got a very slow rate of fire on it. Looks pretty cool though. They kind of had fun with it, but I think they should have made these upgrades a little bit more powerful because they're really not worth bothering with too much in the high rounds. But as far as Treyarch drastically changing the zombie health cap, it's been kind of weird because really, like, we've had World at War, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4. The zombie health scaling pretty much remained the same, more or less, throughout all of that time. And then in this particular Call of Duty, zombies that Treyarch have put out, they've had the 30,001 health cap initially for the first two maps, and then they went crazy with the 120k health and now the 60k health. It just seems really strange because it makes a big difference in terms of how you approach a map. You know, that zombie health factor. And to me at the moment, with the meta for Cold War zombies, it's very similar to the last zombies that we had in Black Ops 4, in that pretty much the camping strategies are the way to go to get to high rounds quickly. Just checking out the blueprint there for the wonder weapon. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty much the meta right now for this Call of Duty Zombies, and the last one has been camping. You could pretty much camp with the launcher in the last one, and in this one it's all about basically camping with the wonder weapons or the ray gun. Because of the fact that they've capped the zombie health, like back when the zombie health used to scale indefinitely, it became really, really hard to kill zombies, especially with normal weapons in the really high rounds. So you were forced to train zombies, to group them up, to herd them around, you know what I mean? It literally wasn't possible to camp once you got past a certain round because of how high the zombie health was. You'd never kill them quickly enough, unless you had certain wonder weapons, I guess. And then ammo was a factor. But they've taken away both of those things. They've taken away that indefinitely scaling health that the zombies used to have. And they've taken away ammo as a factor. You don't have to worry about ammo ever, really. In Cold War Zombies, it's so overpowered. Like, you can buy ammo at the ammo boxes everywhere. The ammo drops that you get from perks and stuff. It's pretty crazy. So it's pretty much all about the camping, rather than training up the zombies like we used to do with our old school zombie strategies. But I guess it's good to have a new meta. I kind of miss the skill that was required to train up the zombies, though. That was a really big factor in, particularly in some of the tighter maps where there was less room to breathe or to train zombies in. This crafting table right here is actually a really good location, by the way, to be able to buy back some of your, your death machines and stuff like that, or your self-revive kit if you happen to lose it. Okay, so we're on our second level of Pack-a-Punch with the Wonder Weapon right now. You don't really need to upgrade or Pack-a-Punch your secondary weapon, by the way. Because the Shadow Blast is really the only thing you need that for in the high rounds. This is the equivalent of the dog rounds, by the way, for this map. It's guaranteed max ammo at the end of this. You get these little tormented things attacking you. They kind of explode. Yeah, kind of like kamikaze suicide bombers, these things. But they don't do a lot of damage. They're definitely not dangerous. I don't think you would ever get killed by one of these things. Unlike the old school dogs, which used to be reasonably deadly. Alright, so now we still need a few more points. We need another 30k for our final Pack-a-Punch upgrade on the Wonder Weapon. And then I think we're pretty much good to go. We'll be fully set up at that point. Now, another thing that I will mention, just as something you might want to consider, is that very recently they've actually updated the wall buys in Cold War Zombies, where if you wait long enough, the higher the round that you get to, the wall buys have a chance, I think it's every 5 rounds, to actually upgrade to a higher quality level. So I find around about between rounds 30 to 40-ish, you'll usually get the wall buy upgraded all the way to legendary. So if you have a particular weapon that you want to upgrade to legendary, be it the Gallo or something like that you can buy off the wall, you can just wait long enough for it to be legendary straight off the wall. Buy it off the wall and then attach your blueprint to it. So and Pack-a-Punch it. So that's a good way to save some salvage if you want to wait that long. And from what I was reading as well, the wall buys actually I was reading that they actually allow you to get different weapons off them, but I haven't tested that yet. But that was kind of interesting to read. There was some feature like that as well. But I usually just go with what I bring into the game. At least for this map, it's not really necessary to upgrade the quality level of your secondary weapon, because you primarily use the Wonder Weapon, as I said earlier. Cool. All right, so we're still trying to get some points here to get to the 30k we need for the triple pack on the Wonder Weapon here. The CRBR TRN core duality, I should say. What's pretty cool about this weapon is that it actually talks to you. It gives it a random commentator voice. So the normal commentators that we've had in Cold War Zombies, you have a chance of getting one of those. It'll be different every game, pretty much. And they'll make little comments while you're shooting it. It's pretty weird, actually. I don't know what the storyline is behind this weapon, but I'm sure there's some intel out there that explains it, how it works and stuff like that. It's pretty cool though. So you can see I'm just basically aiming down this hallway here. And every time I fire this thing, the little orb will shoot the zombie coming through the window for me, which is pretty handy. I did cave in as well, and I ended up upgrading my my perk so that I get the electric cherry effect, because it is quite useful in this map. I didn't really like to use it before because it could potentially kill any zombie crawlers that you're keeping for doing solo Easter eggs and stuff like that, but I mean, you just have to be careful with that sort of thing. But it does get you out of some situations where you could get trapped in this map, so it's kind of useful for that. So yeah, as far as the grenades and the tactical grenades that you want to be using for the strategy, like in these early rounds, it doesn't matter too much, but later on, the main ones that are useful are either stun grenades to get yourself out of trouble if you get trapped, or you can use the decoy grenades. I see a lot of people using those. They're quite useful as well for attracting a bunch of zombies. And there's even the new tactical grenade that they've introduced in this map, which is pretty much a Gersh device. It's called something else in this map, but you can buy it from your crafting table. You can only have one at a time though, which kind of sucks because I'd be tempted to use it. It's very expensive in terms of salvage costs, but you can only have one at a time, so I don't tend to use them too much, and they also don't activate very quickly either. So it's not like a get out of trouble type tactical grenade, but they're very good for killing a lot of zombies, that's for sure. But yeah, I just call them Gersh devices. It's pretty much exactly like a Gersh device, except it's called something else. But yeah, the main ones that we'll be using in this strategy and the second strategy I'll show you are the decoy grenades, and I use Semtex. The Molotovs are also pretty good, but Semtex are actually a lot more powerful than they were when Cold War zombies first came out. They scale really well now. You can pretty much kill zombies at any round with a single Semtex grenade, whereas it used to take 3 in the higher rounds when Cold War zombies first came out. Alright, we've actually got the 30k we need to pack a punch for the third time here on the Wonder Weapons, so we're just going to try out the little shotgun attachment here for a little bit, and then we're going to head down to the pack punch machine to upgrade this thing. And at that point, we will be pretty much fully set up in terms of the gear that we're using. So you'll notice I did buy the war machine as well from the crafting table, and the war machine is probably one of the best pieces of equipment that you can get for the area that we're going to be spending most of our time in for this strategy. Both the strategies I'll show you actually. So the death machine is also pretty good, but I think the war machine is probably a little bit better, and it's fairly cheap as well in terms of salvage. I think it's only 250 high grade salvage. Okay, so let's make our way down to the pack punch, and we'll be able to upgrade this to tier 3, and then we're pretty much done with our setup, and it's just a matter of getting through the rounds after that. Okay, there we go. We've got tier 3 on the Wonder Weapon. Unfortunately, you can't put an alternative ammo type on the Wonder Weapon. Now, by the way, back here, you'll notice that's the Hazenbow disco back there. In the window up there, where I'm pointing right now, you'll notice there's a little teddy bear of a little bunny rabbit teddy bear up there in the window. So after 15 rounds from when you complete that that Hazenbow disco Easter egg the first time, 15 rounds from that round, you'll actually have the chance to shoot that bunny rabbit teddy bear in the window of the Hazenbow. And if you shoot it, you'll instantly go back into that disco and have another shot at hitting the correct door to get another prize. You can do it every 15 rounds, basically. There's no limit to it as far as I know, which is pretty cool. But it's not really that useful. Once you have the Wonder Weapon, you're pretty much good to go. And at least for another 10 rounds or so, this thing is just going to melt everything. So you can pretty much go wherever you want to get through the next few rounds. By the way, you can buy the robot and activate him with 2,000 points, and he'll follow you around, or you can direct him to specific places if you want. We're going to buy some decoy grenades at the crafting bench right there. And essentially for the first strategy here, this is the main strategy that I'll show you guys. This location right here in the sewer is where we're going to be spending the rest of our time here to get through the high rounds. So right here in this corner back here, you've got one window behind you where zombies are going to spawn through. You want to activate your ring of fire there when it's available. And that will kill quite a lot of the zombies coming through that window. But just keep an eye on that window. And then just shoot the zombies that spawn down through the archway there and so forth. Just while you've got that ring of fire going. In these early rounds, you can just kill the zombies even without the ring of fire. But in the higher rounds, I'll show you guys later on what you need to do to get through the rounds. But right now, we're just going to be trying to get through these rounds as quickly and efficiently as possible. Now, I'll show you guys too. Basically, if you group up the zombies down here, just run a simple train round there. You can take out the whole horde just by using your Shatter Blast ammo. And you'll notice that I'm using Toxic Growth at the moment as well. So I'm going to be putting down a few of these Toxic Growth bushes in the corners just to help me out if I get into a difficult situation where I need to slow the zombies down. So I'm going to put those at the back of the area that we'll be camping, and then we'll switch back to Ring of Fire. So how those Toxic Growth bushes work is they'll pretty much stick around until they take enough damage from zombies. So if you put them in areas where zombies don't usually come from, then they'll stick around a fair while. And if you really need to get out of a tricky situation, you basically just push yourself into one of those bushes for a little bit. Alright, so we got our max ammo there, which is good. Now from this area here, you do have an ammo box in this room. You've also got the arsenal in this room, so you can buy your armor back. And just up the stairs in the power room, we have the crafting table as well, where we can buy our self-revive kits and our lethals, tacticals, all that good stuff. And there's also a zip line that we can use to get straight up to where the Wonder Fizz machine is, if we need to buy back our perks. But one word of warning that I'll give you at the moment, there is a bug where the vertical zip lines, especially in the really high rounds, have a chance to insta-kill you for no reason. So it is a bug at the moment. It's never happened to me, but it has been reported fairly widely that it does happen. The horizontal zip lines that go between buildings, they're okay, but the vertical ones can apparently insta-kill you in the really high rounds. So be careful of that. And if you want to be super careful to avoid that, just maybe go to the individual perk machines to buy them back and avoid those vertical zip lines altogether. But hopefully they'll patch that problem later on. Alright, so we're nearly at round 30 here. Let's get through a couple more rounds, and I'm just going to put down another one of these Toxic Growth bushes. But it should be pretty easy at this point in the game. But once we start getting up to the 50s and the zombies are all super sprinters, that's when it starts getting a bit more tough. And they hit that 60k health cap. But yeah, as you can see, the one weapon, it is pretty awesome in these lower rounds. The very first time I got the one weapon, I think I got it out of the mystery box on my first game on this map. My first ever game playing this map. It felt kind of weak to me because I was at round 40-ish or something like that. But in these lower rounds, it actually is super OP. I think it's at a pretty good spot right now. It's not. I don't consider it as really overpowered for the high rounds once you hit the zombie health cap. But in the earlier rounds, it's definitely powerful feeling. So I think it's pretty well balanced right now, actually. Because you still need the Ring of Fire in the higher rounds to actually take out the zombies efficiently, especially the elites and stuff like that. Okay, we'll watch one more round here. We'll watch the round 30 gameplay here, and then what I might do is I'm going to skip ahead to when we hit the zombie health cap, just to show you guys what it's like with the super sprinters and the max health zombies. And I'm going to take you step by step through how the strategy works at that level. So yeah, we'll just finish off the rest of round 30 here. And we've got our toxic growth bushes set up back here. They're probably not going to last too long, but they just give us that little bit of a buffer, help us out. Now, every now and then you will get rounds where you'll get panzers spawning in, and they'll spawn in like one after another. So there'll be one panzer, you'll kill that one, then another one will spawn in. Fortunately, they don't spawn in groups, but once you kill one panzer, you will get another one spawning in later on. So just be careful of that. You'll get these disciples spawning in with manglers in other rounds as well. But mainly the panzer rounds are probably the more challenging ones in the higher rounds that we'll get to. So you probably want to save your Ring of Fire for those guys. Alright, let's skip ahead to the health cap, guys. And here we are at the zombie health cap. It will kick in around about round 55, just after this one. But I thought I'd show you round 54 because this is one of the rounds where we'll have the panzers coming in, stuff like that. So I'll give you guys a breakdown of this strategy once you get to this this level of round. To start off here, we don't have our Ring of Fire up right now. So what we're going to do is take out a few zombies and just slowly try and train your way around in a circle here. Don't go too fast and just group up all the zombies behind you. Then you can whip out your secondary weapon, which has the Shadow Blast on it. And you can see we instantly got our Ring of Fire meter filled up from using that Shadow Blast and with the other couple of zombies kills that we got prior to hitting them with that Shadow Blast. But instead of using the Shadow Blast, if it's on cooldown for some reason, you can also just throw down a Semtex, which will do the same thing. If you're really worried that the zombies aren't grouped up properly for you, you can also throw down your decoy grenade there in the middle and then throw a Semtex. You will pick up a lot of Semtex off the ground here. The decoy grenades are not quite as common, but you can buy them back from the crafting table as well. But to be honest, I only ever really had to use my Shadow Blast on PPSH to kill those scores of zombies to fill up the Ring of Fire meter pretty easily. But later on, if you get a lot of disciples spawning in a wave, they will kind of break up the zombies and cause them to kind of go off in all sorts of different directions. And it might not be quite so easy to fill up your Ring of Fire meter with one nice tight zombie group like this. So if that happens, you can whip out your death machine if you really need to and just blast that at, 2 or 3 times to fill up the rest of the meter for your Ring of Fire. So that's another reason why we have that war machine, to get ourselves out of trouble. And it's also good for taking out panzers if you don't have your ring of fire up, stuff like that. So let's look at round 55 here now. At this point, we're definitely at the zombie health cap right now. And we don't have our ring of fire up yet either. So we're just going to try and squeeze through here and do another circle of the room. Just watch for those gaps. And use the Shadow Blast right there. We got our ring of fire back. Now this is another one of those rounds where you have a lot of disciples spawning in and manglers. So not really the hardest type of round that you get compared to the panzer rounds, but it can cause its own problems with the disciples, like I was saying before, kind of causing chaos with the zombie pathfinding and stuff like that. Okay, so now we're going to do the train around do the circle around the room again. You'll see that most of the zombies are probably not going to be in a nice tight group because of the disciples, but we'll see how we go here. We get our ring of fire back up. Actually wasn't too bad after all. And we're just going to obviously use the ring of fire power buff to just slaughter the rest of the zombies. You still have to be pretty careful, because a lot of zombies come in super fast. So let's try and take them all down before they hit you, and get out of that area as soon as the ring of fire is up. But we should be getting towards the end of the round here right now, and we're going to buy back our armor. So that's pretty much the strategy for the sewer, guys. And this is the strategy I would probably recommend for most of your average players that just want to get to higher rounds. Reasonably easy. The next strategy is probably for a more advanced player. It takes a little bit more skill in terms of being in a tighter space. And that is the power room strategy, which I'll show you guys, which is currently the strategy used for the world record held at the moment. And for this one, you still want the same stuff. You want the decoy grenades, you want the war machine, and you want Semtex. You want to keep the door at the back of the power room closed, just behind where I'm standing right here though. So as you progress through the map initially, when you're starting the game, you want to actually open up the door that we kept closed for the other strategy, which is the entrance to the sewer from the ghost train station. So you go through that way and turn the power on, and keep the door at the back of the power room behind me right here closed. So essentially what this one involves is you're going to be using your ring of fire to take out as many zombies as you can, as quickly as you can. Just be very, very careful. Throw down your decoy grenade. Throw your Semtex. Use your Shadow Blast if you have to. And then your death machine. Just do a quick loop around the back of the room here. But you are going to have to be on your toes, because you're going to have a lot more zombies spawning a lot quicker. I personally found this strategy is probably about 15% faster, at least at round 55, than the sewer strategy. So it is significantly faster, but there's a lot of opportunities to mess things up as well. So yeah, just be aware of that. But once you get the hang of this can be a very fast strategy. You do have to keep buying back the war machine, but you should have enough salvage dropping to be able to do that fairly comfortably here as well. If you need to buy armor, you just need to go down the stairs and around the corner. It's pretty easy. And the crafting table's right there if you do get down to buy back your self-revive kit and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a pretty cool strategy. It's very fast. It may be that something faster will be discovered after this, but right now this is the strategy used for the current world record on this map. Legitimate world record, let's just say, without using any exploits in the map. So if you do happen to get down, you can recover pretty quickly by throwing down a decoy grenade, grabbing your self-revive kit from the crafting table to the right. Head down the stairs, grab your armor if you need to, and then you can use the zip line, or just go the long way around to buy back all your perks. So I hope this guide has helped you guys and helps you to get to some high rounds. Let me know if you have any questions or if I've missed anything in the comments section below. Don't forget to rate and comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Slippery Jim out.
I want to play a game.